So welcome, everybody. Hoş geldiniz. It's welcome in Turkish. My name is Michelle Schoenfeld. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I'm a well-being alchemist and professional speaker. But today, I am going to keep it really casual. The Life Co asked me to kind of come in here and tell my personal healing journey. So in my real life, I am a public speaker, as I said. I do wellness commentary for news and for the radio. I speak in front of large groups. But to tell my personal story in a small group like this and with everybody online is really a pleasure, because it's not very often that we get to tell our true story. I've always been interested in wellness, always, my whole life. And as a child, my mom was way ahead of her time. She was a little bit of a hippie. She was into yoga and meditation and organic food. We lived on a commune. And this was like in the early 80s, like way before it was cool. And so for me, it was not cool. For me, it was very embarrassing. And I spent a lot of my teenage years trying to distance myself as much as possible from all those like alternative wellness, healthy things. Then late 20s, 30s, I kind of bounced around with different wellness trends. I did transcendental meditation. I was vegan for a while. I did some alkaline stuff. I meditated, did a little yoga, but nothing ever really stuck. Nothing became like a lifestyle for me. It was just kind of like trends I was trying at the time, like SoulCycle. And that was until I turned 42, and I was diagnosed with stage 3+ breast cancer. Very invasive breast cancer, and it really rocked my world. It really made me kind of look at like, whoa, what is going on in my life? I've always been pretty healthy. I try to do my best, but what's going on? And it really kind of made me look at different things you could do to heal. But I'm going to back up for a moment and tell you that I came from a really, really mainstream background. I spent 10 years in the pharmaceutical industry, working for Big Pharma, promoting pharmaceuticals. I was married to a surgeon. I even owned a medical center. So when I say mainstream, I was about as mainstream as you could get. And finding out you have cancer is scary. Stage 3+ is really scary. They didn't know if I was curable. And a lot of it's fear-based. So I faced 2-year battle. Chemotherapy, radiation, multiple surgeries. My body went into heart failure. I had liver damage. I was 50 kilos, 113 pounds. Skin, bones, bald, sad. To be honest, was ready to check out. I don't want to say I wanted to die, but I didn't want to live. I didn't care. And let me also add, I was going through a divorce and raising 2 teenagers. So my life had just kind of imploded. But then somewhere, kind of halfway through, I had a really dark moment. I woke up, a friend woke me up actually. I was on the floor in my bathroom, basically unconscious, rushed to the hospital. And something clicked where all of a sudden I wanted to live. All of a sudden I was like, wait, no, I want to live, and I want to do whatever it takes to get there. And what I was doing wasn't necessarily working. I was allergic to the pain medication. I was allergic to the anti-nausea medication. And I was like, okay, there has to be something else. And I started doing deep dives into alternative wellness, into the mind-body connection, into every little bit of research I could get out there that had to do with cancer that was alternative healing. And so this whole talk today is not going to just be about cancer, I promise you. It's going to be recovery in life and how to get healthy and how to feel good and how not to get where I was. So there's going to be other things that we're going to talk about. I'm just giving you a little of the background of where I was and how difficult it was for me in this place that I was. The first thing was change my diet, right? Things that you're doing here. You come to the Life Co, it's vegan alkaline. We know that alkaline is good, right? It's good for reducing inflammation. It's good for our blood. We know that. So that was easy. I did that. I went alkaline. And what that really means is, well, everybody who has cancer has an acidic body. It doesn't mean if you are more acidic, like if you drink a lot of alcohol and eat meat and cheese and dairy and all that kind of stuff, that you're going to get cancer. But cancer thrives in that. it can't live in an alkaline environment. So the idea is to make your body as alkaline as possible. And what that refers to is the pH of your blood. So you don't need to worry about any of this. That's a whole other talk. And we're not really changing the pH that much, but we're doing everything in our power to starve the cancer cells. So that's what I was doing. The other thing was our mind, right? And the mind-body connection. It's really powerful. We know it works. We know it. It's proven scientifically. And this was where my years in the pharmaceutical industry did come in handy. I'm sure most of you, all of you probably know the placebo effect, right? And just to kind of recap for anybody not really familiar with it, anytime a pharmaceutical drug comes to market where you can use it, it has to go through numerous clinical trials. Usually 3. Starts in the lab, goes to animals, then it goes to people. And when it goes to people, they divide it into 2 control groups, and they do it double blind. And what that means is that even the people giving the drugs, giving the medication, they don't even know. Are you getting the placebo, which is a sugar pill, no medication, or are you actually getting the medication? And so the reason they do this is because to get approved, the drug manufacturers have to show that the drug works better than the sugar pill. So you'd think, well, of course it does. Well, no, not necessarily. Because sometimes 15-20% of the people get better taking the sugar pill. But it's also been as high as 60 or 70% of the people actually get better because they think they're getting medication, because they think they're going to get better. So somehow the mind connects with the body and the cells and stimulates a recovery healing process. There's another really good study I love as an example of this, and it was in the North American Journal of Psychology. And they took teenage athletes, 2 groups of athletes. They divided them. One group worked out with a personal trainer several times a week for a month, doing strength training, all sorts of stuff. The other group worked with a hypnotherapist. And all they did was go through, I shouldn't say all, what they did was go through the workout in their mind. So they're in a hypnotic state with a hypnotherapist guiding them through the workout. At the end of the month, the group that worked out with the trainer grew their strength and muscle mass by 27%. The group that never was allowed to touch a weight or even go for runs grew by 24%. So there's only a 3% difference between the people who are actually doing the work and the ones who are going through it in their mind. So that's just an example, 2 examples really, of what our mind can do. So we know it can do so much more as well. I, as I said, took a deep dive. I started looking at all sorts of alternative wellness that had to do with the mind-body connection. What can we do to heal our body? I worked with a hypnotherapist. Reet Horn in Washington, D.C. changed my life, no question. There's a lot of good ones out there around the world, but I'm telling you, she was my introduction and it changed my life. They're 2 to 3 hour sessions. We'd have once or twice a week, and we went through healing practices and visualizations to heal my body. That's a whole other talk again, but it worked. Now, I'm not saying that I didn't do chemo or radiation, these other things. I did because I was terrified. And a lot of this kind of treatment is based on fear. And as I said, I had 2 teenagers. So I felt like it wasn't just my life, it was also people relying on me that I had to take care of. But once that stopped working for me and I had problems, I did the alternative. And then I had to heal, right? I had heart failure, I had liver damage, my hair wasn't growing, my skin wasn't good, my brain was foggy. So I started doing all sorts of meditation. I started following Abraham Hicks, right? Law of attraction. And basically law of attraction is what you focus on expands. So it's so important during our healing process to keep our mind positive, to keep our energy up. But how do you do it when you feel sick, when you feel tired, you're stressed out with life, your children are making you crazy, your job's making you crazy, whatever it is around you, what's going on in the world right now, right? The 24-hour news cycle, where we're constantly being bombarded with all the stresses in the world. How do you keep your mind positive? How do you bring yourself back to balance, right? Well, meditation. It works so well. And it doesn't mean that we're sitting in 20 minutes silently clearing our minds. We're not monks in a cave. For most of us, that's not really effective. It's great if you've practiced a lot, but meditation can be anything. It can be anything that takes your mind off of your daily to-do list. For some people it's horseback riding, for some people it's swimming, for some people it's even shopping. So it's really like finding what it works for you to be able to change your mindset and take it away from that anxiety. So to bring back, when I said the law of attraction, what we focus on expands is, you guys probably know if you go out with a group of friends and somebody comes late to the party and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm late, this is the worst traffic, and I got in a fight with my spouse. And then all of a sudden the energy changes and everybody starts telling their, oh my God, I know the traffic last Thursday, or oh, my kids. Everybody starts telling their horrible stories, right? It attracts. But at the same time, if you tell something positive or great, I just had the most amazing experience in Bodrum, Turkey. The sea was so crystal clear. And then people start, oh, I was in the Bahamas last winter, and then people start telling their positive stories. Well, why that actually matters more than we realize is because it changes our body's chemistry. It really does. When we tell a negative story, especially if it's from the past, our body doesn't know the difference between if it's happening right now or if it was in the past. And you'll start producing cortisol. And what's cortisol? It's a stress hormone, right? It causes inflammation. It causes all sorts of problems. What is cancer? What is autoimmune disease? What is arthritis? Inflammatory responses. So we want to reduce cortisol. We want to reduce that as much as possible and increase our serotonin. And increase, dopamine can be a little addictive, but it makes us happy. But increase serotonin. How do we do that? Happy thoughts. Things that we're grateful for, things that make us feel good, right? Hugging a loved one, petting a kitten, swimming in the sea, big sky. So for me, part of my recovery was learning how to do that when everything around me was out of my control. Everything around me seemed to be chaos, right? It was like, wow, we can control how we feel with our mind. We can control how we react to what's going on around us. And the easiest way, the best way to do that really is, as I said, through meditation. So I learned different types of meditating. I started teaching meditation. I got certified. I went back to school. I was like, wow, this is amazing. This has changed my life. I want to help everybody. I actually talk about radical acceptance. Totally changed my life. I got rid of the stressors, and that's important for all of us, right? Clean up your space. Get rid of things that you don't need anymore. Maybe you need to change locations. Maybe you need to move. Maybe look at your friend group and realize who here maybe is a little toxic, and start to kind of remove yourself. It doesn't mean we don't love them. We can love them from afar. But who's around us that is maybe affecting how we feel about ourselves or how we feel about life in general? It's difficult sometimes when it's a family member, or maybe it's a boss or something like that where you can't really remove yourself. But there's little tricks and tools you can do. You can do little white light showers. You can think of 3 things that you actually like about this person, even if they're making you crazy. That's a good one. That's a really good one. And that's not even mine, actually. That's probably Deepak's or something. But anytime you're in a situation where you're not feeling the energy, white light shower is wonderful. You can just close your eyes for a second and visualize this white light coming over you and washing everything into the ground and removing it from you, and just see your nice, beautiful white energy body. That's great. I do it all the time. I love it. Or you visualize your heart just being full of so much beautiful gold and white light, and expanding and pushing everything negative out until you have this beautiful bubble around you of just beautiful, yummy, healthy, white gold light, and just feel how good that is. Those are little things you can do anytime, anywhere. No question. But realistically, we're moving, we're fast, we're working, we're driving in traffic, right? So it's really kind of thinking of what the tools for you will work anytime you feel your mind going to the negative place. So for me, it had to do with the cancer, it had to do with the divorce, or it had to do with my children, it had to do with what am I going to do with my life, whatever. For you, it might be whatever is going on. The minute you start having those negative loops, those negative self-talk, self-judgment, even gossip, even upset with somebody else, it doesn't matter. Those are all low vibrating. We don't want that low vibration. We want high vibrating, happy, love, joy. So anytime you catch yourself, immediately bring it back to something positive. And the easiest way to do that is 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things you appreciate. And the difference between gratitude and appreciation, they're very similar, but Gratitude, we love it. It makes us feel good, right? We're grateful for this experience. I'm grateful for my friend Paul coming all the way from the US and his beautiful partner from the UK to come here. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to you. It feels good. Then we have appreciation. And appreciation is, you think you put money in the bank and it appreciates, right? You get more, it's interest. So when you show appreciation, it grows. It's even more. And so as you start showing what you're appreciative for, you start feeling better and better. And the more you can pick things, the more will be attracted. The more you'll be surprised at what comes to you. It really is contagious. We all know those people that we don't necessarily want to be around. Like you go to out to dinner or whatever, and there's an empty seat, and you're like, oh, I hope they don't sit next to me. And then we also know those people that you want to be around because they just feel good. Like you can't wait to be in their company because you know that when you're with them, you feel good. And you can't really explain why, but you know that you do. That's energy. We're picking up on their really wonderful, yummy energy. So those were the things that I did. That was part of my healing journey. And the Life Co wanted me to come in and share this. And I know I've kind of been all over the place with this, but it's so incredibly important. It changed my life. I never thought that I'd be a meditator. I never thought that I'd be living in Turkey talking about holistic health. I literally got on a plane, bought a one-way ticket, and came here. Why? Because it felt good. And I needed a radical change in my life. I lived in the city, I had a big life, I had the nice car, the kids, the house, the country club, but I didn't have that love and happiness inside, and I couldn't figure out why. So I had to figure out how to find it, and then that's what I did. When I hit rock bottom, I realized, no, I want more, and I started finding it, and started going in the direction that felt good. So that was a big part of my healing. Instead of having a pity party or feeling bad about, oh, my body's too skinny, or I don't have hair, or my friends has changed, or I have scars, who's going to love me? It was like, no, I'm grateful to be alive. It is a beautiful day. The sun is shining. I have a roof over my head. I have beautiful children. Whatever it is finding those things. Finding those things. Another thing that I love, that I still use all the time, is what are you a yes to? I don't know if any of you guys done like kind of what you're a yes to. Again, it's not mine. I wish I could say it's mine. It's Gabby Bernstein's, but I love it. And it's when you can't change that negative cycle, when it's just not working, right? You're just like feeling depressed, feeling low. And we get that way. We're human. We're not always in balance. Is just start saying the things that you're a yes to. And sometimes they're very obvious, right? Because I'm not feeling creative. I'm in such a crappy mood right now. I feel like a brat. Okay, fine. A yes to love. I'm a yes to happiness. I'm a yes to joy. And then all of a sudden, you'll start, oh, no, I'm a yes to feeling good. I'm a yes to better relationships with my friends. I'm a yes to waking up and feeling sexy. I'm yes to a beautiful hot cup of coffee after detox. Whatever it is, you just start saying what you're a yes to that you like. I'm a yes to having more days that feel good. I'm a yes to having a better night's sleep. I'm a yes to wonderful vacations with my friends. I'm a yes, and as you do it, more and more yummy yes things are going to come. And so that's something else that you can do kind of any time to help you feel better. So I think I've really honestly kind of covered everything. My two basic things were plant-based. I truly, truly believe in a plant-based diet. Truly. Now, French fries and Oreos are also plant-based, so I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about nice alkaline foods. I realize that for a lot of people that's not realistic. You come, and you like your meat or your eggs or your dairy, whatever. So I would say moderation and finding balance. So whatever you can do to find balance in your life. And coming here doing detox is a great thing for sure, because even doing it once or twice a year gives your body a really nice rest and a chance to reset. Our livers are beautiful. They regenerate every 7 years. It's great. Our blood, our skin's our largest organ, right? It turns over about every 21 days. So our bodies are really resilient. So whatever you can do to keep your body in balance and keep your body healthy, I would say for sure. And then the other thing is, I would encourage everybody to add in some kind of meditation, some kind of mindfulness. And if you haven't done a lot of it, there's so many apps. Try guided visualizations or guided meditation. And you can just sit there and listen. You can fall asleep to it. It doesn't matter if you fall asleep. You're still getting the benefit. right? Just start small. It can be 2 minutes a day. It can be 20 minutes. It can fall asleep. But really, really start working on your meditation, because that mind-body connection, once you can focus your mind and control the thoughts, then you can start bringing those into healing. You can start learning how to actually heal your body, how to make yourself feel happier like that, how to flip your energy. Again, that would be a whole other talk, but I hope that if you're interested that you look into that more. And moving, right? We want to move our bodies for sure. We want to get out and walk, even when you're having the worst possible day. Get out, and if you can at least walk for 20 minutes and oxygenate your blood, that makes such a difference, because we, again, produce serotonin, and we feel good, and it's another way of showing self-love. It's really showing self-love. Like, that's the most important thing to anyone. We know in the airplane, right? Put your oxygen mask on first, then help everybody else. That's exactly how it is with self-love. Most of us are not taught self-love. I wasn't taught self-love. I love my parents, love them. But I wasn't taught how to love myself. That's selfish. We're supposed to be loving everybody else and taking care of everybody else. Right? That's what we're supposed to do. Take care of everyone else. Make sure everybody else is happy, because it feels good to make them happy. But the truth is, we really got to make ourselves happy first, and love ourselves first, and keep ourselves nice and strong, because then we can help everybody else. Then we can be better lovers, better partners, better humans, better mothers, fathers, sons, whatever, right? Better to the collective if we can love ourselves, because we don't let things get to us. We don't have that little snap as much. We don't look at the world of what's going wrong. We look at the world of what's going right, right? And that really is the key to healing from anything. Healing from a breakup, a relationship, childhood trauma, obviously cancer, surgery, whatever it is the key to all of it, is learning how to really, really love ourselves. So that's pretty much what I was going to talk about today. If I could just hug every single one of you and be like, love, 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 yeah. Again, much more casual. I usually speak on stage. But I would love if you guys have any questions about anything. Yeah.
With your healing journey, would you, if you went back and could redo it, would you not do the chemo, not the radiation, not surgery?
Yeah, okay, so the question I was just asked was, if I had to go back again and do it all over again, would I still do the chemo, the surgery, and the radiation? That is a really interesting question. And it's not as black and white as I would like to say. Well, first of all, I'll say that in general, the cancer industry and the medical industry scares the crap out of you. The minute you get a diagnosis of cancer, they terrify you. And so you feel like you have to make quick decisions. In most cases, you do not need to make a quick decision. In most cases. You have some time to do your research and really see what's right for you. Because at the end of the day, and I was talking about this with my friend Paul earlier, with something he's going through with a family member, at the end of the day, you have to live with your decision, and you have to know that what you decide was right for you. So you can't blame it on anybody else, right? You just got to do what your gut. And your gut won't steer you wrong, but you have to make the decision. But knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And so it's how do you get the knowledge to make the right decision? So I'm not dodging your answer. For me personally, I was scared. I was told 3+. And so 3 is we should be able to cure you. 4 is not curable by mainstream. So I'm 3+, not knowing if I'm curable, and raising 2 kids by myself at the time. So the surgery, 100% I would do again, no question. I did not have a double mastectomy. I had 2 lumpectomies and lymph nodes. There's no difference in survival rate, is what my research showed and my doctor said. There's no difference in survival rate. It's reoccurrence, not survival. So I did not do double mastectomy. I did lumpectomy. I would do that again in a heartbeat, because remove the cancer, gone, easy, not that invasive, to be honest. The chemo, I don't have an answer for that. I think I might. I don't have an answer. I have been asked about that, like if it comes back, would you do it again? If it would come back, I would do alternative. I would go very, 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 very alkaline, green fasting. There's whole protocols for that. I would do that if it's something I don't like to really talk about, because I really feel like a lot of it was also the stress in my life and the toxic living environment I had. And I've done everything I can to keep myself not in that situation. But that's a tough one. I mean, chemotherapy is really, 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 really toxic. Really, really toxic. I would definitely do the surgery again, though, that without question. The radiation I don't think is necessary for my situation. I did it because, again, fear, and I was told, and I wasn't as awake and didn't have as much information as I have now. There's a drug called tamoxifen that pretty much everybody who's had the type of cancer I have gets put on. They put you on for 5 years or 10 years. I took it for a year, and I made the decision to go off of it, and my doctors, who are through MD Anderson and Hopkins, fired me as a patient because I refused to take it. And I refused to take it because there's a black box warning on it showing that it causes cancer, ovarian cancer, and uterine cancer. So here I have a body, everybody has a little cancer, and our bodies fight it. My body obviously wasn't fighting it so right. So why would you give me a medication that's been shown to cause secondary cancer? But I also was going into my alkaline, really alternative healing. I came here to the Life Co. The Phuket location used to deal a lot with cancer. That's in the past. But I came here, I did alkaline at home, I did a lot for myself, and I never looked back. I technically should still be on tamoxifen, and I never looked back. And then you guys who are here have probably seen the posters around. For you at home, I'm sure you've seen the posts or get the emails on Well Together. But Well Together is a really wonderful online community platform that you guys can join. So it has actual professional speakers like me. It has professional healers, wellness people talking about different things. There's a resource library, there's webinars, there's podcasts, but there's also chat rooms where anybody can, like what we're doing here, is doing questions and answers. And maybe I have the answer to this, maybe I don't, maybe she has the answer, maybe he has an answer. And so there's going to be really great interactive chat rooms where people can share their healing journeys and also share information, share recipes, come together, have your own groups just to help everybody in their wellness journey. So I think it's going to be a really great platform. It's called Well Together. It's free to sign up. Here there's like barcodes or like little QR codes you can scan. If you guys are at home, you can go to the website for sure, or the Instagram page, Well Together. And I'll be on there writing articles, doing interactive question answers, some webinars. But there'll be a lot of really good people from all around the world also offering their unique take on different types of alternative healing and wellness. So I encourage you guys to check that out, Well Together, if you're interested. And I have a podcast called You Lost Me at Namaste. And at You Lost Me at Namaste, I do all sorts of healing conversations as well, my personal, but I also bring in people from around the world talking about the pineal gland, talking about energy healing, talking about detoxing, all sorts of different things that have to do with wellness, because one size doesn't fit all, right? There's so many different things out there, and I kind of demystify wellness trends and make it really, really easy to understand, like real world language. Because sometimes I think we know there's more out there, but we're not really sure how to go about it or what it means and who do you ask. So it's a podcast just to make things super easy and understandable in about 30 minutes. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, how long was your healing journey really?
Yeah, so she was asking me how long my healing journey is. Ongoing.
Stage of diagnosis to sort of really feeling well for the first time?
It's interesting you ask that, because I just was thinking about that the other day. So I did 2 years of treatments between the chemo and the radiation and surgeries and all that. Very, very skinny. It took a long time for my hair to grow back. Foggy. I had chemo brain. I had like some brain damage. My friends called me Dory. That probably lasted for a good 5 or 6 years. I'm about 8.5 years out now, to give you an idea, 8.5 years. So probably 5 or 6 years the fogginess lasted. I would say it was probably about 4 years before I started feeling like me again. So there is this period after cancer, after any, I think, serious illness or trauma, that you have this like super energetic, I am so excited to be alive energy. Like I'm dancing to Happiness Is My Truth, and like just whatever I can. Dancing is so good. I'm happy, I'm out, but I was tired. I had brain fog. I had neuropathy issues. I dropped my cell phone. I couldn't hold pens. That took several years before all of a sudden I kind of woke up one day. I was like, I'm not foggy anymore. And I'm actually remembering what people told me. So it took a long time. It took a long time, to be honest. Yeah. From the outside or from Instagram, nobody would know. I had a beautiful wig, I knew how to wear makeup, I go to parties, I go to black tie events, I post, look how great it is, but that's not actually what was going on. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, it was probably a good 6 years. Yeah, it's a lot. People don't talk about that part. Yeah. And I'm sorry for you guys who are here in the audience to, talking about so much women's stuff, but also chemotherapy throws you into menopause, right? So then you have all that kind of stuff as well. You have all the hormonal changes and not recognizing your body, and it takes a while. It takes a while, but it's I don't regret anything I went through. I'm so kind of in awe of it, because I learned how to fight for my life. I learned how to find happiness. I am so happy and I have so much energy, and when I come in here oh, Michelle's back, because I really am. I'm just, every day I'm so excited for the next day. I have moments, don't get me wrong. A month ago I was crying with crystals on my lap. I had a fight with a friend, and it took me a day and a half to clear it. Usually I can clear in about 5 minutes. I'm human, of course. But in general, I'm just really happy, and I love sharing the light and sharing the love and helping other people find it, because everybody has it. We all have it. We're just not taught how to find it. We're not taught how to tap into that beautiful light we have, because we all have it. We all do. Yeah. I know it's a long answer. You can tell I love talking about this. But yeah, the road to recovery is long. It is. And it's like anything. It's any kind of trauma. Cancer is a trauma. Trauma from childhood, trauma from the economy, an accident, a death, a divorce, financial. There's all sorts of traumas, and there's no judgment. Not one isn't worse than the other. It really isn't. It's all kind of how it affects us, and then how we can overcome it. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I know we went on and on. Thank you guys for joining us. This really casual, real life talk at the Life Co. Go to the show notes or to the Instagram pages, the website, and you can find out how to join Well Together. You can find me, Michelle Schoenfeld Official, my podcast, You Lost Me at Namaste.